I promise I only take 12, 15 minutes max. So the way that I'm gonna manage to do that, so that, because I can talk about this for an hour, but the way I'm gonna do this is I want to read to you something, is the proposal that not a proposal, yeah, it was a proposal that I made to, not really a request, but information to my boss, Dr. Wright, Corporate boss as well. And I think it'll help you understand what I'm here for and what I would like to do through you if you would be willing to. Over at the Counseling Center, we are initiating a program, we have initiated it already, called Dealing with People. It's a Dealing with People initiative. So let me just read some stuff and I'll keep it brief. BYU Hawaii Counseling Services is undertaking the initiative Dealing with People, Knowing Yourself, and Understanding Others. This initiative will bless the lives of BYU Ohana, and especially BYU students and student families. This initiative is an effort to increase communication and develop effective relationship skills and understanding self and others. How do you see yourself? How do others see you? How am I seen by others at school? How am I seen by others at work? How each of us more effectively understand ourselves and those we deal with on a regular basis. That includes significant others, our spouses, roommates, friends, faculty, staff. Attendees will also be able to more effectively communicate in multicultural environments. The program will be conducted campus-wide by the Counseling Services under the direction of me. And I have scheduled the building I'm going to talk about, the multi-purpose building in 101, every Thursday night this semester. And so, and I'm going to various different groups and doing several things to see that we can do this with as many people as possible. Workshops. This involves workshops. Health and wellness for students and student families is our primary focus in teaching relationship skills. Each attendee will take a 24-item assessment developed by the Persigenics Corporation. I'm going to give that out to you because this is mine. Just pass it around, thumb through it. You don't need to read it or anything. You can just take a look at it because that's what you would have. It's a 24-item questionnaire. It just asks you, there's 5 items on each one. It says, which one of these adjectives is most like you? Which one of these adjectives is least like you? And it asks you that on 24 questions. And then from that, it will immediately give you a 15 to 17 page printout telling you more about yourself than you care to know. Corbin's taken it before, he knows.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
smiling back there. It gives you a whole load of stuff, a whole load of information.
Yeah, good.
Let me go ahead. Preparation and advertisement. Before implementation of this program on campus, the Student Development Services Council participated in a 90-minute workshop. That would be Dr. Wright, Corbin, myself, and other department chairs, and the Student Development Staff and Services. And 90-minute workshop presented by me. The focus is on services to students and student families. Others are welcome. State presidencies, councilmen, bishops, board members, students, student advisors, student visitors, faculty, staff, and others who might benefit, and then encourage students to participate. The 3 BYU state presidents, President Hanman, President Carter, and President Grace, have individually met with Elder Pearson to discuss this initiative, and each responded positively. And their wives, or them and their wives, were all sent assessments and invited to participate in the program. State presidents will support the program in any way they wish. No specific expectations were requested. However, their enthusiasm suggests their interest in being supported. Each state president is aware this program is primarily intended for BYU students and student families. As we work towards health and wellness, and as you might know, the Counseling Center and the Health Center are in the process of joining. We're going to have a big building over here. It's called the Health and Wellness Center. and we're going to be together with them in the same building. And so that's what I'm referring to when I say the Health and Wellness Center. We need to think out of the box and use creative methods to offer services in much, much broader contexts to more and more students. This initiative is presented in that spirit with long-term goals in mind as the university grows over the coming years. Now with that, I'm going to hand you out. If you'll, I'll just let everybody take one. I'm going to, in that workshop, talk to you about you. What do you like? How many people in here, now let's be honest with you, okay? How many people in here talk with their hands like electricity? I'll be honest now. That characteristic, I can describe to you as a result of this program. Oh, I sent that already. And help you to understand how you are and how you see yourself. And then we're going to talk about how other people see you through the lens of their personality style, the patterns of communication, okay? And there are 4 patterns of communication, and we will talk about them in great depth, and you will learn ways to deal with other people. You're going to tell specifically what's the best way when a person behaves in a certain kind of a way, and what their pattern is, how can you effectively respond to them or relate to them. And I think you'll find it quite interesting. The first workshop takes about an hour and a half. I'm figuring an hour and 45 minutes, because at the beginning we start with prayer, and at the end we start with a prayer, and while everybody gets there, I give myself 15 minutes. And then the presentation takes 30. I use a PowerPoint presentation. I give you handouts at the end. You'll have information about yourself, and you'll learn more about your friends, and you'll learn more about yourself than you ever have before. But what I'd like to do, because the time is short, is that I would like to ask each of you to consider coming to the workshop that we're holding tomorrow night, if you can possibly do that. The reason I'm in here tonight is very simple. You hold access to huge portions of this student body. They trust you, they respect you, and if you came to this workshop and you came away feeling it was beneficial to them, they would come too. If you came and felt that it was useless, don't tell them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think what you're going to do is find that it's something, you learn things about yourself you didn't even know, and then you start looking for more. So we would do that 1.5 hour workshop, but there's 3 more workshops. I only ask people to come to one. Come to that first workshop. If you don't want to do any more, don't. Because what happens in the second workshop is I talk to you more about what happens when your primary pattern of communication and your secondary pattern of communication don't work. And you're not getting your needs met. And the pressure, stress, and tension starts building up until you finally, in whatever your term is, lose it. What happens then? And what can you do about it in relationships with you? That's what we do in the second session. In the third session, we talk about, for 1 hour only, we talk about how do you identify a person's profile, their pattern of communication, without a computer. You can't produce that to you without a computer. But you can learn how to do it without having to have a computer. 1 hour. The last one is what I call a so what session. For an hour, we talk about how do you apply this in your relationships? How do you make relationships better? In a couple's relationship and marriage, how do you take the program, as we've got it, and figure out if my spouse is here and I'm here, my girlfriend is here and I'm here, how do we move them more closely to the center? And as we move them more closely to the center, we have a better chance of being able to have effective relationships in the skills we teach. That's what it's about. I don't want to take any more of your time except for to say I'd like to pass around a sheet indicating that whether you'd be able to come. I'll start right there. I'll wait around while it goes around. If you would be able to come, it's going to be over at the multi-purpose building in room 101. And most of you are familiar with it. And that room holds something in the vicinity of 60 people. So we're not going to have a problem with space. If you'd like to bring a friend or a neighbor, 7 o'clock to 8:30. I know there's all kinds of issues that might go out because of that. We're working on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock to 8:30. Tomorrow. And I'm going to be holding another one next week if I can get other people who would want to come. We like to have about between 25 and 35 people It works best when you have about the number of people that are in here would be just fine. And if we were to have a few last, we'll just do it. But I would like to have you just write down your name and your email address. And, well, we don't need the email address because tomorrow they're going to send you a URL. Okay? All you have to do is click on that URL. It opens you up to the profile. You go in, gives you a few demographic information, and then it gives you the 24 questions. You just click, 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 click. Push a button. In about 30 seconds, it tells you a profile. Is there any questions or concerns? Do you see, you know why I'm trying to do this? Yeah. This makes sense. I really wanted to get across campus. I can't start at the top down. Actually, I did, because we started with the SEC, and I presented it to them first. That was mostly because I can do whatever I want in the counseling center, but it's really smart if you tell your boss what you're going to do. So that's what you get. So she said, well, I want you to come and do it with the SEC. After I leave, Kobe will tell you whatever he thinks. I won't even be here to know. Okay? That fair? But for now, let's just go around and write that. Anybody that can possibly come. We really would like to have you tomorrow night. I'm going to have to get a pretty good group, so I'm hoping that several of you will come and bring somebody else. If I know that you're coming, you bring 1 or 2 people, fine. We're going to be doing this all semester, and then next semester we're going to start all over. We're going to jump right on doing it. And as soon as we get to where we've got enough people from the first group, workshop 1, that we can feed into a workshop 2, we'll take about an hour with those folks. So see, I'm trying to get something going where we have people taking the first one and then waiting till we get ready to do the second one, so that I have numbers in each group, and they go for group 1, 2, 3, and 4. If they don't want to come back after the first one, fine. Hope you learn something and hope it's beneficial. Nobody will know. We'll be able to tell. Does that make some sense? Questions before I leave? Yeah, please.
Can we get the URL without coming to the workshop?
Again?
Can we get the URL that you talked about without coming to the
Tomorrow morning, everybody that signs this paper is going to be sent a URL. And you'll get it early on, about 8 o'clock in the morning. We were going to do it today, but we forgot. And so we're going to do it tomorrow morning. We're going to send every one of you the URL. Click on it, print it out, and come. And please, bring somebody else with you. And, what was that? No, we're not going to have refreshments.
If the president,
Many times I intend to do this across campus, my department would go broke trying to buy refreshments for everybody every time they talk.
if the presidents go and they like it, would you be open to going to their chapter and doing it with, let's say they had 10 or 20 or 30 people from their chapter?
Or if they've got a smaller number, they might join together with another group.
Yeah.
And I'll be pretty flexible about when I'll do it. I'm not real excited about doing it from 9:30 to 11. If somebody really wanted to do that and you were still awake, well, I would do anything. Because what we're going to find, I've done it over and over, what we find is when people experience it, they say, wow, I'd love to try to pass this on. You know, I really like that. And they want to come back for more and they bring somebody else with them. So save yourself from bringing somebody else next time. Bring somebody with you tomorrow. And by the end of the day, I need to know how many we got. I will show up. If I don't have enough people to do it, then I won't go. Tomorrow morning, Friday morning, I will have a workshop on workshop number 1 with the staff of our finance department. I did last week a workshop with our auditors, and that's an experience. They ask questions big time. That's their job, right? They ask questions, and it was fun. It was fun. And I'm trying to get everywhere that I can. In fact, we have a meeting on campus. How many of you are familiar with the CRACY meeting? It just means a bunch of people in their pertinent, counseling and finance and all these other people get together and coordinate what they're doing so we don't step on each other's tail feathers, right? And I'm going to, at the next meeting they have next month, there's about 20 of them. We're going to do this first thing in the workshop. So yes, I would love to do it. All I need is about, I like 30 to 40 people, but I'm not pushy at this point. I'll 20 work. In fact, I've done it as low as 8. And it works. It's just that you get the dynamics of a group this size going, it's way different than 5 people in a room. Make sense? I'll let you go. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Did everybody get one of these? Okay. And I'll just kind of Where am I, is my list or one?
In the back right there.
Nobody got a chance to see, guys get a chance to? Oh, short it.
It hasn't gone around over here yet.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step out so that you can go along with the meeting. And when everybody's had an opportunity to let me know that they're gonna come and give us a, well, we got your email address. We're gonna send the profiles to all of you. But the question is, how many of you would come? And hopefully that's what we'll learn tonight. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much,
Thanks,
Alder Pearson. Let me just offer a practical support to what Elder Pearson. Elder Pearson, by the way, has been teaching this at BYU Provo for 12 years. So he has good credentials under his belt. In my little experience, when you go enter into a company, they start making a profile of you. And so I strongly recommend that you get some knowledge while you're here. Hopefully, wherever you go, that you give them the profile and send them the message of who you really are and not let others make a profile of you. So that's just as simple as I can get. Hopefully, wherever you go, you tell them who you are and hopefully not let anyone tell you who you are. So it'll be good to know right now. All right, for our class, let's just stop out, please.
Can I just ask, is anybody going to have a gospel forum this week?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
We used to, but
I know, are you, because of a vocal point?
yeah,
Is anybody going to have it, or have you just canceled it for this week? I just,
I canceled.
so everybody, there's nobody's going to hold it. So I could,
Wait, we might hold it, we're just waiting for our speaker, because what we did is that we planned almost a whole semester, and speakers know already that they're gonna
So
speak.
you're gonna hold
So
it.
if we shift to one, we're gonna shift all of them, which we don't wanna do, so we might hold it.
so Africa will hold
We'll hold
it.
it.
Or anybody else?
We might hold it.
So if we want to hold it, is the only time we can hold it at night?
Yeah.
Not hold it earlier?
No, because of vocal.
There's state conferences earlier, 2 state conferences from 2 states, and then there's vocal point. So the security will not open the doors for you on Sunday night before 9 p.m. But all the doors will be open at 9 p.m. if you're gonna have your gospel forum. So raise your hand if you're thinking you're gonna hold your gospel forum.
Africa and Mongolia's going to have it?
And Tahiti.
Mongolia and Tahiti. Anybody else?
Just remember, before 9 p.m. you'll not be able to get into the rooms, but after 9 p.m. you can.
So there's just 3, Tahiti, Africa, and Mongolia, the only chapters that are holding it, right?
Yeah.
Email address.
How good is the vocal?
Oh man.
For the reason why we got some.
I wish we had time to share a video.
Maybe
They're
later.
absolutely exceptional. It's all a cappella, and they're from BYU. They were on the TV show last year, the Sing Off. And if you watch that TV show, oh man, they're phenomenal singers. Yeah, they sound really good.
All right, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
So just, I guess for the gospel forums, last time the doors weren't open, and so all our forums were pushed backwards by at least half an hour because he had to start in the Aloha Center, and then he had to work his way up to GCP, and so we didn't get to we planned it for 7:30 and didn't start till after 8 o'clock.
I've been in discussions with them about that because I heard about that, and so they're making a point this Sunday to have all the doors will be open at 9 p.m. whether you're having it or not, and then I'm working with security on that. So just after 9 p.m. it's security's job, but before 9 p.m. it's the custodian's job. So on the custodian's phone numbers are on the confirmation sheet that you get. So if you have a problem, you need to call the custodian before 9 p.m. After 9 p.m. you call the security. But we're working that through. I'm working on that with them so that the doors are open for you. And one of the other, we may end up getting your key cards coded so that you can have access to the rooms and you can unlock it yourself at the specific times. So, but we're working on that.
Yeah, thanks. All right. For our lesson, we've been discussing quite a few things, and once in a while it's good to wrap things up. So let me start with a very interesting leadership dilemma. I'd like you to starting. I'll show an interesting video, but as you watch this short video clip, try and figure out what would be a leadership dilemma that a lot of people face, and maybe you're facing it, or maybe we can prepare for it in the future. I like this video clip just because it's funny. But there is a dilemma in leadership, and not a lot of people detect it right away. What do you think is the dilemma?
Communication.
Communication? What else?
Movement.
What's movement?
By action.
Action?
I think he was trying to show like he was trying to pull the cart down the hill.
Yeah.
So he wasn't trying to show something negative. He
True.
was trying.
You can tell from the reaction of the driver, right? When he was reaching, he was enjoying it's actually a commercial for a chocolate bar that says energy. But you can tell when he was reaching and closing, getting close to the guy, what was his facial reaction showing?
You're surprised.
He was thinking. He was like, oh, I'm gonna help this guy. So, this can be the whole, we can have a full discussion for this lesson. But let me just guide ourselves right now. Is there a question on his intent to help? Is there a question on his intent to help that person? No. The same is with you guys as presidents. I don't think there's no question with your intent to help the chapter. You guys are here, 9:30. That's enough evidence that you want to help the chapter. But there is a missing element to it. Is desire alone enough to really help people or a chapter? What is the other elements that are needed?
We need to help them grow, not to help them.
Yeah, you need to help them grow, not throw them in the cliff. Yeah. What else? As a leader, you need the desire to help. What else? You also need the commitment to act. Is know-how helpful too? And so I would like to propose, as you think about your leadership at this time, I have no doubt everybody has the desire to help. The reason why we're having this class is maybe we may not have the know-how, leadership skills, management skills. And that, unfortunately, what we do, our actions always affect those whom we are serving. And so it's a leadership dilemma I'd like to start with, and some of the things that we'll be discussing right now. But before we go to our lesson, as an SAA chapter president, no question about the heart, what are some of the things that you're beginning to see that you need some know-how as you help your chapter members? Anything that is surfacing? Stacy, please.
Learn how to delegate.
Okay, good. And yeah, we always, that's a cliche already in the church, yeah. You delegate. But how you delegate is a totally different story. There's a difference between delegation and abdication. Have you ever heard of abdication?
Application.
When you abdicate a responsibility to someone, a lot of people think it's delegation. The main difference, abdicate, is you give someone a responsibility and you leave him. And you think, oh, you need to be empowered. there is a difference. Delegation has more to just giving responsibilities. So thank you. That's just that's one example. So to tie the heart and know-how, we are blessed at BYU. So I'd like to challenge us right now. I believe the best indication that we are doing leadership correct as far as our chapter presence at BYU is concerned. I believe it should not be as hard because it's spelled out for us. We know that we're all under training here, so there's no perfect leader. But I can guarantee you this, if we are just in alignment with the mission of BYU Hawaii, then we're doing it good. It won't be perfect, but the worst, to flip the other side of the coin, you may be the best leader. You may have the best lead qualities. But if what you're doing is not in alignment with BYU Hawaii, you are accomplishing something, guaranteed, but not necessarily what we have set out here to do. So that's why I just want to make sure that all of those are cohesively tied up. Our first lesson is shared vision. And we're trying to make ourselves better so we can attend to our chapter. Now, what would be something that can remind us of what our leadership roles are? And because of the interest of time, we'll have more time to participate later. But because of the interest of time, we in the alumni office felt that a token that would remind us. The word remember is a powerful word. It's a powerful concept. It can guide us every day. And we thought of something that can easily be felt. Anything you've observed about me today?
The t-shirts.
Not the look. No, the t-shirt. How do you like my shirt? Why aren't you clapping? No, I'm just kidding. But this t-shirt, it's just a regular shirt. But it's up to us to give it some meaning. So I thought I'd be a little bit scriptural today. And resolve to, who is he again? Captain Haroldine. And what was he doing here? Title of Liberty. His was a torn shirt, right? We have a little nicer thing than a torn shirt. But what was it for? In memory of what? In memory of our God, our religion, freedom, peace, wives, and our children. And he fastened it to the end of the pole. We actually debated to just get you poles and torn shirts. But we figured you guys deserve better than that. We don't want you walking around with fastened poles. So we got you these shirts. And we just don't want to give them away because they have meaning. So for 1 minute right now, let's give it some meaning. What do you think this would mean to you in terms of leadership? When you're wearing it, what should it remind you of?
To align.
Thank you very much. We can have a lot of answers, and they're all correct. But at least, thank you for, at least we go direct to the point. Hopefully this should remind us that everything we do won't be perfect. But let us be aligned with the mission. Very quickly, I'll give the privilege to Corbin Commander to share the logo.
Okay, so you see in the upper left, you see a book, right? So the book is Learning, Spiritual and Secular. The person on the icon on the right is, you can see a person in front and kind of some shadows in back. So that's a person leading other people.
Should be a model.
And then the church building you see on the bottom, that's building the kingdom of God, right? So we're talking about the three represent the mission of the university, is learning, leading, and building.
Yeah. So again, everything is aligned with what we're doing. Learning, leading, and building.
And then, if you can't see on the bottom, there's a ribbon, and on that ribbon it says president. That's each of you guys.
And it does bring a sense of authority. So this shirt will only have meaning if you give meaning to it. For some who will wear it and would not value its meaning, and then it's just a shirt. But we would like to, at least in this room, we'd like to invite you to wear it every class. This would be our uniform now. It's one way of having a feel of professionalism. It's actually an elite shirt because only the presidents get it.
So